Hi Ashley, welcome to day 3. Today we're going to learn a mobility routine that you can do daily. By creating a daily habit of doing this routine, you'll promote healthy joints as well as longevity of your joints. This will also help with strength training and training for any sports or activities that you do. This routine is called CARS, Controlled Articular Rotations. So what you're going to do is move your joints in the greatest rotational range of motion that you're able to do. The other part of it is that we need to create tension in the body. So we're going to hold about 10 to 30% tension. So there's one more important point when we are moving through our range of motions, is that we want to pretend like the air is 30% thicker. So maybe you could think about moving through a bit of mud or moving through water. So it's that little bit more dense air. How we do this is we actually do it with tension. So we're doing an isometric contraction while we're moving our joint through the range of motion. So we're actually training our nervous system at the same time. 3 important points for the CARS routine. We are going to begin with the neck. So I want you to create about 30% tension in your body. So start to tighten your core, tighten your legs. You can even make fists with your hands to create a little tension through those arms. We're going to start by bringing our chin down towards our chest. And then we're going to draw that chin over one shoulder without bending through the side or raising that shoulder up. And then we're going to take our chin all the way up to the ceiling. Now when we're in this position, making sure we're not pulling our hips forward, not moving anything. Bringing our chin to the other shoulder, looking over and back around. We'll do that again. So create tension, chin to chest. Bringing that shoulder, bring it over the shoulder. Think about ear over the shoulder, chin up to the ceiling. Other ear over other shoulder, looking over, bringing around and down, switch directions. So still having a bit of tension. Chin over shoulder, ear over shoulder, looking up to the ceiling. Chin over other shoulder, around and down. One more time, not moving any other joint except for the neck. Okay, next one we're going to do is our spine. So we're going to take our hands and cross them, just placing them on our shoulders. From here we want to think about moving everything from the belly button up. So everything from the belly button down is going to stay as stable as possible. So crossing those hands over, we're going to start by bringing our chin down towards our chest. Then we're going to start to round our upper back so our arms and elbows kind of pull down. So we're creating a bit of a hunchback. From here, we're going to rotate our upper body towards one side. Now when we rotate, make sure our hips aren't sticking out. They're staying right over top of those knees and ankles. In this position, we're going to drop our shoulder down as we rotate. Then we're going to bring our upper body around over top, still keeping that chin tucked in, and then rotating towards the other side and around. Let's go again. So from the start, 30% tension through the body. Bring your chin down to your chest, round your upper body so elbows start to point towards the ground. Rotate towards one side. Don't let those hips go out. Drop that shoulder down as you raise up and over, keeping the chin tucked. And then we're going to the other side and back to middle. Let's go right into the other direction. Rotate. Drop that shoulder down. Keep those hips over top of your knees, over top of your ankles. Lift up. Rotate to the other side. Rounding our back as we come around. One more. Rotate towards the side. Drop that shoulder as you lift up and over. Rotate to the other side. Maximal rotation. Come back in and up. Okay, the next one we're going to do is our scapula. Scapula is your shoulder blade. So let's take one arm out. The other one you can just make a fist with down by your side. So karate chop hands. Squeeze those fingers together. Take them out. So our scapula moves in 4 directions. We're going to bring our scapula up. So lifting, think about lifting that shoulder up to the ear, but not letting your head go, not bending, trying to stay as tall as you can through that spine. So lifting the scapula up. Now we're going to pull the scapula back, so pulling it behind us without bending that elbow. And then we're going to drop the scapula down, away, again, not bending, not rotating. And then we're going to pull that scapula away from us. This one too, make sure you don't rotate. If you want to leave your hands on your ribs to give you some feedback, you can. So we're going to elevate, up, retract, pull back, depress, go down, protract, go forward, elevate, retract, depress, protract, come back to neutral. Let's reverse. So let's start with elevate, protract, depress, retract, or up, forward, down, and back. Good. All right, other side. If you find a couple of those spots are a little sticky, that's okay. That's just some place to work out. So taking your hand out to about a V shape. Here we go, elbow straight, karate chop fingers, 30% tension through the body. We're going to elevate, retract, depress, protract, lift, pull back, drop, move forward, lift, pull back, drop, move forward. Let's go reversed. So lift, pull forward, drop, pull back, elevate, protract, depress, retract. You probably can see where I'm getting a little stuck on things. It's not as smooth. Last one, up, forward, down, and back. Good job. Okay, next we're going to move on to is our elbows. So we want to make sure that we're not moving through the shoulder, we're not rotating in and out, we're just moving through that elbow joint. So a little help, take your opposite hand and just put those fingers right on your elbow. That's going to give you some feedback. Let's do karate chop hands again. So fingers nice and squeezed together. Start to irradiate, so create about 30% tension in your body. All right, we're going to start with supinating. I know some of you might not know what that means, but supinating, just so you can see my hand, means rotating out, but not from the shoulder, just from the elbow. So pronating, palm down, supinating, palm up. So let's start again. So fingers right on that elbow. Supinate as much as you can, but not coming from that shoulder. We're going to flex at the elbow, bringing that hand up almost outside of the shoulder. Then we're going to pronate, so rotate, palm faces away from you, and then push down. Remember, there's about 30% tension in your body, as well as 30% denser air. So pretend like you're pulling and pushing through a bit of mud. Pronate down, making sure we're not doing anything weird with the wrist or the shoulder. This time, keep your hand facing your body. Bring it back up. So now it's facing away. Supinate towards you. Back down, extend. Go pronate. Flex. Supinate. And extend. Excellent. Let's go to the other side. So again, your Your body is as tall as you can, tight through the core, tight through those legs. Take your hand on your elbow, karate chop fingers, shoulders away from ears. Supinate, so open that hand up as much as you can away from you. Flex. Good. Pronate. Maybe do a little wave. Hi. And then we're going to extend all the way down through mud. Supinate. Flex. Extend. Oops. Pronate and extend. So that hand that's on the elbow is just going to let you know if you start rotating through the shoulder joint. And you may also feel some movement when you pronate and supinate and when you flex and extend. Last one. Good. Excellent. All right, next we are moving on to our shoulder or a glenohumeral joint. For those of you who are in kinesiology, you should know that one. So our glenohumeral joint, how we're going to start with same positioning, so core, center of the body, being right over top of those knees and ankles, a little bit of tension, about 30%, radiating out to our limbs. Make a fist with one hand, that's just going to create tension through that arm. We're going to go karate chop fingers again. From here, we're going to bring our arm up as high as we can go. Good, without bending over or lifting that shoulder or dropping that head. Okay, and you guys will notice how poor my shoulder flexibility is, but that's okay, I'm working on it. So when we're in this position, we want to make sure too, we're not extending through those ribs, so keeping those ribs down. You want to leave your hand here for some feedback, go for it. So from our fully extended position, we're going to internally rotate, which means rotating our whole arm inwards all the way around. Once we get all the way around, then we're going to take our arm back behind us, drawing the biggest circle we can, making sure we're not doing any head position or rotating this way or bending. Trying to be as still as possible. So take it all the way back. When you bring it down to your thigh, you're going to notice your hand is facing away from you if you've internally rotated. Let's rotate back to front. Let's rotate back to the start. A really good thing to do this is in front of a mirror so you can see where you're compensating. All right, 30% tension, karate chop arms. Maximally bring your arm up over your head, no ribs flare, keep them down. Rotate internally with that shoulder right through this socket here. Take your arm back behind you, keep internally rotating as you come down. Perfect. Let's do one more. All the way up. Shoulder away from ear, no rib flare, rotate internally. Take that arm all the way down. Good. All right, we're going to have to reverse this as well so we get both directions. So with your palm facing your thigh, rotate internally so your palm is facing away. We're going to take this arm all the way back, so full extension. And then we're going to externally rotate that hand and then bring it up and over. Good, let's try again. Internally rotate. So make sure you're trying to keep that elbow straight. Extend the arm back. Externally rotate through. Coming up and over. You can go as wide as you need to. You can see how wide I need to go. All right, let's switch sides. So if you prefer to keep your hands on the ribs, keep your hands on the ribs. If you want to do a fist down by your side or squeeze your leg, go for it. So starting with 30% tension in the body, taking that arm up over top of your head. Again, no shoulder lifting, no ear to shoulder, no rotating or dropping, none of that. Try to stay as tall as you can through your body. We're only moving this shoulder joint. So ribs stay down, head stays back. Internally rotate that arm. Take the arm back behind you. Keep internally rotating as you bring it down to your thigh. Start from the beginning. Palm face in. Karate chop fingers. Straight elbow. All the way up to the ceiling. Shoulder down. Internally rotate. Take it back behind you. And down. Good. Okay, let's reverse. So, internally rotate. Palms away. This is internal. External. Internal. Just in case. Take your hand back behind. Full extension. Externally rotate that arm. Bring it up. And over. Keep those karate chop fingers. That'll help to keep that elbow straight. So internally rotate. Take your arm back. Externally rotate. And then bring it all the way around. Perfect. Shake it off. Alright, so next is going to be our wrists, which we probably all desperately need to move our wrists more because we're typing all the time and texting all the time. So I'm going to use this box as a bit of a feedback because what we don't want to do is this. This is elbow movement, not wrist movement. So we're going to take our box, or it could be a rolled up pair of socks. You could also pretend like you have a glass of water on there so it doesn't fall over, or you could pretend like you have your cell phone on there because you really don't want to drop that. We are going to do karate chop fingers again, and I don't want you to bend through those knuckles. We're going to try to keep them nice and straight. Other hand can hold on if you want to, or underneath, whichever you prefer. Create 30% tension through the body. We're going to start by bringing our hand towards us. Then we're going to internally move it inside. As we come down, we're bringing our hand flat. Whoa, see, I'm moving through my elbow. Down, back up. So drawing that biggest circle you can, not missing any movements. Making sure you're coming all the way up. Whew, I'm having issues. All right, and then we're going to go the other way. So, down, in, up, down, in, up. Clearly this is one I need to work on. One more. Good. All right, let's go to the second side. So lock that elbow in. Create tension through your body. Stay nice and tall. Everything over top of those ankles and hips. Take your hand, maybe grab onto your forearm. Again, you can put that box or rolled up socks or something on there for some feedback. Karate chop fingers. 30% tension through the body. Pull, bending through that wrist, pulling your palm towards you, not bending through the fingers. Down. Good. Trying to go out as far as you can. That's going to be hard. And back up. Out. Down. Back up. Good. And then reverse. Okay. This should feel like effort. It should feel difficult as if you're trying to get into your greatest range of motion. But make sure you're breathing. Last one. Excellent. Woo. All right, those are the wrists. Okay, next one we're going to move to the hips. Now for the hips, it's a good idea to hold on to something. So it could be a chair, it could be the wall, it could be a door frame, something that is sturdy enough to give you some balance. Because you don't want to focus on that balance on that opposite leg. You really want to focus on the hip that you're working on. So we're going to start by creating tension, 30% tension in that body. Maybe you're squeezing onto your chair, maybe you're making a fist. Let's take our other arm out to the side, just so it's out of the way, and create a fist to create some tension. Bring that knee up. So when we're in this position here, I want you to think about that standing leg being really tall, that thigh pulling up towards the ceiling. Excellent. Okay, so this one is more challenging than the rest because we're adding a bit of balance. So try not to lean over. Okay, so knee up as high as you can. Keeping this hip down so you're not hiking that hip up. Think long through both sides of the body. Then we're going to take that knee out to the side. Good. From here, this might be already challenging. We're going to try to keep that knee as high as we can as we rotate back behind us without bending, without leaning, just trying to be nice and tall. Okay. And then from there, take that leg around and back and down. I have to move forward. All right, so, and again, lift the knee up, drop this hip down, lift through that quad, take the leg out to the side, keep the knee nice and lifted, rotate behind you, bring it around and down. Good. Let's reverse it. So take the heel back. We're going to go out to the side, but again, don't bend. Be tall on both sides, almost like you have something that's pulling your ribs out of your hips. Bring that leg around. Good. Bring that foot under the knee. Come across and down. One more time. Behind you. Rotate. Hips are pointing forward. I forgot to mention that. Try not to rotate through that way. So take it back. Up. In. And down. Let's go other side. I'm going to face it sideways so that you can see it from a different angle. All right, so from here, 30% tension. Create a fist, hold on to something, bring that knee up, lift through the quad, drop the sit bone down, but lift through that standing leg. Take the knee out to the side. Keep that knee lifted, keep those hips pointing forward. Rotate that foot behind you, still keeping those hips lifted, ribs lifted. Take that foot behind and down. Hard one. Here we go again. Lift the knee up, really tall through that standing leg. Drop the sit bone down, just so you're not hiking through your hip. Take the knee out to the side. Rotate, keep that knee lifted, rotate, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Take the leg around and down. All right, reverse. Flex the knee. Take the leg back, so extending through your glute, not extending through your ribs. Those pulled in. Knee comes out wide. As you come up, foot comes underneath. Come back to center. And down. One more. Flex the knee. Extend the leg back really tall through that standing leg. Take the knee out to the side. Lift the knee up as you bring it around. And down. Whew. That was a tough one. Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on is our knee. So our knee moves in extension, flexion, and internal and external rotation. So up to you if you want to hold your knee behind. Bottom leg doesn't matter where you put it, whatever's comfortable. We're going to keep our foot flexed, so pulling our toes towards us. We want to create that tension, so tension through the body, tension through the arms. We're going to rotate from our shins, so this is where you want to focus, rotating internally and externally, not just compensating with that ankle moving, really rotating through here. So if you look just below the knee, if you can see your shin bone, that's great. You can also feel just below that knee your internal, external rotation. We're going to add to that what I was just doing. So hold on behind your knee or lock yourself in, whatever's comfortable. Okay, so lift the leg up. Externally rotate. Extend. Don't worry, I'm not flexible either. Internally rotate. Try to get that shin to move. Flex back down. Externally rotate. Extend the leg up. internally rotate, flex back down. Now let's reverse. So keeping those internally rotated, extend, externally rotate, flex, internally rotate, extend, externally rotate, flex. You got it. All right, switching sides. So holding on, creating about 30% tension. Let's just check your internal and external rotation with that heel on the ground. Is it moving? Maybe one leg better than the other. So externally rotate, lift that heel up, extend, internally rotate, flex, externally rotate, extend, internally rotate. Really think like you're going through 30% more, 30% thicker air. All right, we're going back up, internally rotated, extend, externally rotate, flex, internally rotate, extend, externally rotate, flex. Good job. So when you're in that extension, it's always going to be harder to internally and externally rotate. Easier when you're in flexion. Okay, next we're going to move on to is our kneecaps. So our kneecaps we're going to move with our hands. Now if you know you have dislocated kneecaps or any sort of knee problem, just skip this one and move on to the next. So let your leg be nice and relaxed. Put your hands on your kneecap. Yes, it is supposed to move. We're going to do a clock. So let's push our kneecap towards 12 o'clock. We're creating tension through the rest of the body, but not in the quad, or it'll pull the kneecap back towards you. Here we go, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12, and everything in between. 6, good, 9, and then we'll switch. So 12, 9, 6, 3, 12, 9, 6, 3, everything in between. Go other side. All right, relax the leg, tighten the core. 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 9, 6, 3, 12, 9, 6, 3. Probably feels really weird. All right, so we're going to work on ankles. So we want to minimize the shin from moving as well as the hip from moving. So options for holding. You can hold like this. You can hold like this. Whatever is comfortable. If that leg, bottom leg, is not comfortable in this position, you can extend it. You can also sit on a chair if that feels better for your hips. So we are going to create tension in the body. We're going to lift that leg up. Try not to move the shin at all. Bring those toes towards your shin. Flex your foot internally moving. Pointing those toes down externally. Yes, your toes might have a mind of their own. That's okay. Good. Really try not to move the shin. Let's go other way. Flex. Out. Down. In and up. Good. All right, switching sides. So first thing we do, find the position that works for you. Second thing we do, create tension, 30% tension in the body. Maybe you're even pressing this leg down into the ground. Lift the foot up, get secure grip, create 30% tension. Pull those toes towards your shin, rotating in, down, really pointing those toes. Pulling it out and up. One more in this direction. Good, again, toes, mind of their own. Sometimes they'll just do what they want to do. Good, last one, around, down. Excellent. So next we're going to work on our toes. So from here, we are going to keep all of our little toes down, and we are going to raise just our big toes, tapping them down, raising them up, tapping them down, raising them up. Now, if they don't want to move, that happens. what you will do is take your hands on your little toes, take your big toe, and manually move up and down until your brain connects. So part of this is getting our brain to connect to our feet. So little toes down, big toe lift, touching 5 times. Good, and then big toe down, lift all those little toes, not letting those feet roll in. Lift the big, little toes, touch them down, lift the little toes, touch them down. Really squishing that big toe into the mat. Still having that tension through our body. Good, okay, next one, raise all the toes up, then just tapping that big toe up and down. Again, if you need help from your hands, go for it. Keeping that big toe up, touching the baby toes down or the little toes down. If you need to do it as a piano key, go for it. Awesome work, Ashley. I'm glad you did the mobility work with me. Hopefully you can implement this into your daily routine. It's a great way to start your day, get everything moving, get that blood flowing, get your brain ready for studying or school. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions. I'd be happy to give you any suggestions or different movements for those exercises. They can be done in a variety of different positions, so if you're not able to stand or sit, we can find some alternative movements for you. Have a great day, Ashbury.